OK, we start with UK politics today. One final test awaits the former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson as Tory MPs gather for a free vote over the Partygate report. Well, let's go through some of the details now for you, because we'll go through the report and what it means exactly, because the report published by the Privileges Committee has already accused Johnson of deliberately misleading the Parliament, and now Tory MPs will vote whether or not to accept the findings of the report. Well, media reports suggest MPs will accept the findings. However, it's not clear if the votes will be recorded, as Johnson is expected to ask his staunch supporters to reject the report. Until now, there are no signs if the UK Prime Minister, now Rishi Sunak, is going to cast his vote. Now, in its findings, the committee had concluded that Johnson acted despite prior knowledge of COVID rules. They say he was aware that the parties were a breach of the rules. The report also says that two members in the committee wanted Johnson to be expelled from the House of Commons, while adding that he had not been given his resignation as an MP. So they're saying that had he not resigned as an MP, they would have wanted him out. At least that's some members of Parliament. Now, the former Prime Minister could have faced 90 days of suspension. Johnson has criticised the findings of the report, calling them a charade and rubbish. However, the main pressure falls on the Conservative Party as it faces a dilemma now. Voting against the panel's recommendation risks the already stretched party image before the general election. On the other hand, voting for the recommendations risks angering the Johnson camp, as several Tory members still believe he was a victim of a political witch hunt. Our London correspondent Alex Isaac is going to take us through the details. Another huge day for Boris Johnson. What can we expect?
Well, I think we may not be as excitable as we once thought we were on Friday. From what I'm hearing, there's unlikely to be much of a vote today. It could well be that those information that we had was just going to be nodded through. That means that there isn't actually going to be a vote on any particular changes, because ultimately Boris Johnson has resigned. So any of those strict sanctions that were put in place, that 90-day suspension, well, that isn't happening now because he did resign from his post. However, there is still a chance that many of the MPs could say that he should still have his parliamentary pass. And from what I do understand, that a lot of that support that was for Boris Johnson, that was saying that this party, this committee was vindictive and spiteful. Now, that's where that issue lies, that people are thinking that actually the whole report was very spiteful, not that it was necessarily wrong, because we keep seeing these parties. And in fact, obviously over this weekend, we saw yet another party video from supposedly inside Downing Street, where people were still not being keeping to those COVID restrictions. So these things keep coming up over and over again. But from what I understand as well, as Boris Johnson is trying to play this all down a little bit. He doesn't likely that he's going to come back into politics. Of course, he wants his parliamentary pass, and he wants some of those people that have been staunchly surrounding him and backing him to say, well, this wasn't right and this isn't how we should be doing politics. But he is looking to potentially step away and start his different career path, which who knows what that may be, but he's already come out a few times and spoken about certain issues which he feels that he is passionate for. So he'll definitely make a lot of money on the circuit there. But when it comes to the Conservative Party, Labour and Keir Starmer, the opposition, are saying that Rishi Sunak needs to make a stand. He needs to go and listen to this debate later on today. But from the rumours that are going around, Rishi Sunak has a foreign visitor, so it's unlikely that he will attend, and he does have a good excuse. But oppositions are all saying, well, Rishi Sunak does need to do something. The party is still fighting. There's still that bitter backstabbing going on, and that doesn't seem to have moved much forward, despite even Boris Johnson potentially, from the rumours, from himself saying that, it is time to get past this. But of course, Rishi Sunak is trying to do other things for the party, for the country. He keeps keeps pushing for the green initiative, for the AI. There's obviously today we've had this huge mortgage rates as well, and people are still concerned about their day-to-day, their cost of living crisis. And Rishi Sunak is trying to put everything else behind him. So after this debate later, maybe, but it's unlikely that this would all get pushed to one side. It does feel like this may go on for a little while longer.
I think you're right there. It's actually his birthday today. He's 59 today, Boris Johnson. So I wonder how he'll be celebrating that.
What a way to celebrate.
Exactly. Alex Isaac, thank you so very much indeed for that. I know you're following that story throughout the day.